Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mercury here. So today, I just wanted to make a quick video explaining why leverage is irrelevant. So I get a lot of questions from you guys in chat and also in DMs, questions about leverage. And the main idea that I need to get across to you guys is your leverage is completely irrelevant. It does not matter. So we'll get into that in a second. But first, in order to understand why your leverage is irrelevant, you need to first understand how to go about managing your risk. All right, so the equation that you need to manage your risk appropriately is risk amount divided by stop loss equals position size. All right, so your risk amount divided by stop loss equals position size. So let's draw this out really quick. Let's do an example. So when I say risk amount, all that I'm referring to is how much are you risking per trade. Okay, so across your entire portfolio, you need to find a consistent number, a number that you are okay with risking for every single trade that you will ever take here at SP. So typically, what I recommend or what I would suggest is a 1% risk of your entire account, meaning whatever you lose on that trade is only 1% of your overall portfolio or your trading account, whichever you decide. So let's pretend you have a $10,000 account and you risk 1% on each trade. That would be $100 risk amount. Okay, so that's your risk amount. Now, let's pretend like your stop loss for this trade. Let's make it nice and easy. Let's just say it's 5%. Okay, so it's 5% exactly. So that is your stop loss. So now you would do risk amount divided by 0.05. Okay, and that would give you a position size of $2,000 on your $10,000 account. That means when you are entering that trade, you put in $2,000, and when this stop loss of 5% gets hit, you are only losing $100 on that trade. And that $100 is only 1% of your entire account. Okay, so this is a real quick and easy equation that you can use and apply to every single trade you will ever take here at Signal Profits. And notice how leverage is nowhere in this equation at all. You do not need leverage. Your leverage is 100% completely irrelevant. So there's two reasons why you should ever need to use leverage. The first reason, and the reason that leverage was actually created, is because you need leverage so that you can put your money on an exchange without having all of your money on an exchange, right? So that's the reason leverage was created, is because exchanges needed a way to onboard people, but people were very skeptical about putting all of their money on an exchange. So if you have a $10,000 account, maybe you only want to put $1,000 of your money onto an exchange, and that way you can just use 10x leverage to imitate as if you are trading with your full account. And then you can have your other 9,000 just sitting in your bank account safely, or whatever you want to do with it. Right? So that's the reason leverage was created. And if you're using leverage to increase your profit, you're also using leverage to increase your losses. Okay, so and in that scenario, you are using leverage wrong. So that's the first reason you should ever need leverage, and that's the most common reason. Now, the alternative to that is if your stop loss is below 1%. Let's say you risk 1% per trade, right? But your stop loss for this trade is only 0.62% or whatever. That means you can use leverage to actually add more to then imitate or to add more to your position to still only lose $100 if you get stopped out on this trade, right? So if your stop loss was 0.5, right, 0.5 exactly, you could technically speaking, assuming that fees don't exist and you will never get slipped, right? And slipped means if you get stopped out at 825, you actually get stopped out at 824.80, right? So assuming all of that and the world is perfect, then you could technically use 2x leverage to still only lose $100. So hopefully that makes sense. And by the way, I don't recommend that. I do not recommend leveraging your entire account by 2x or 3x just because your stop loss is below your risk amount. So, fees do exist. You will get more slippage because you're trading with bigger position sizes. So just keep that in mind. I don't recommend that. But the only other reason and the only real reason that you should ever need leverage in SP is because you don't have all of your funds on an exchange because you don't want to treat your exchange like your bank account. Okay, because anything can happen. Exchanges can get hacked. They can freeze your withdrawals. They can do whatever. So you don't want to treat your exchange like your bank account. So you use leverage to imitate as if you're trading with your full account. So that's the only reason you should ever need leverage. So don't get confused if you see leverage, signals on the site. It's just what the analyst is using so that they can allow more capital for other trades. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and got some value from it. And we are out of here.